Sorry, guys, Medea's gonna wait a couple days. I know that's the one everyone's waiting for. But so yeah, we just saw Ouija, Origin of Evil.
I thought it was really interesting that it's pronounced Ouija when there's an A at the end.
He's like Django, the D is silent. That still doesn't make any sense.
No.
I don't get English sometimes. Or is it...
Is Ouija...
Is it English or... I don't know, to be honest.
Because I feel like it might be French with the "we" part of it. Like,
it feels like someone just like took a
Ouija.
spoonful of alphabet soup and just laid it on the table, and whatever came out was what they chose to go with the spelling for this.
I don't know.
But they just chose to call it Ouija regardless. It could have had a W in there for all we know.
Ouija just sounds like squeegee to me. Like the thing you use to like wipe your...
Like a ShamWow Ouija.
I don't know.
But anyway, so this is a prequel I didn't know was coming. Or like I didn't think that I was gonna get. It's better than I expected it, so it earns props there. I don't really think it's 80% good, but
I wouldn't give it an 80.
a solid 6 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think in regards of like I actually was, I think, more interested in, like, the storytelling aspect of it, like, the first, like, 50%, like, 50% of the movie.
So was I.
And then when, like, she started getting possessed, I was like, okay, this is not...
Yeah, because the problem, like, it's not scary. It's really not a scary movie.
It's
So,
not.
like, every, like, scare effect that's in this movie just kind of made me laugh to myself.
Yeah, it
for
was
a
pretty
couple of
corny.
reasons. One, CGI.
Yeah, it's awful.
CGI is not scary.
No.
It's just not. And I'm sorry, like, there's some very few exceptions to this. Like, the one thing I could think that genuinely left me feeling unsettled was in The Conjuring 2. We had this weird, like, claymation monster come up halfway through. It's only in one scene, but it's actually, like, well, what the fuck is that?
Actually, I never saw that one.
That one's good. I like Conjuring 2. But, yeah, on that, you have, like, the cheese, like, the monster that's possessing the little girl looks kind of cheesy and
Yeah,
just
it wasn't scary
goofy.
at all.
Like, you have they have a lot of this effect for whatever reason when they make, like, her mouth, like, super, super wide, which all I
Yeah.
could think of is, like, the old honeycomb commercials from the 90s and early 2000s.
I didn't even think about that.
Every time I saw that, all I could think of was...
You want honeycomb?
all I could think of is this mouth made for honeycombs. That's all I could think of every time I saw that. It's like, CGI just not scary because it just takes me out of the moment. All I could think of, looks fake, looks fake, looks fake.
It was, like, all the gimmicks were all really poorly done. But, like I said, like, the first 50%, I was kind of invested in this story in regards of, like, oh, like, there's this family trying to make it, the dad died, and now they're gonna get, foreclosed from their home, and I was, like, invested in that, and they're like, oh, they found the money from the spirits, and then it was, like, she's getting possessed and, like, murdering people, and you're just like, oh, that was kind of, like, I don't know, it didn't...
No, I definitely get where you're coming from, and I do agree, like, honestly, like, it's well acted.
Yeah,
It's well shot. It's well directed.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I would even argue it's well written to a certain extent.
Right,
It's just, it's not a horror movie.
It's kind of, it's like, campy's not the right word, I don't think, but it's like...
This feels like studio notes, in that they wanted to make this a PG-13 when it clearly wanted to be an R. And you can tell that in a lot of scenes, like, they never say the word booze, even though they reference it all the time in this movie.
Is that like a...
I don't know, but it seemed like it just
No,
felt
I don't think that was a
weird.
problem, because even when she, like, when the mom picked her up, she was like, I think she said, I can smell it on
I know, they
your
keep
kid.
referencing it, but they never actually call it by any alcoholic
But I don't
name.
think that's against any kind of code.
It might be, because this is Mattel we're talking about, like the one who franchised out the board game.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if that's not PG-13, I think, but it
I
seems
don't
like
think
it felt...
talking about, well, maybe because it's underage drinking.
Even then, it's still weird that you would never use the name of something. It's kind of like how in The Killing Joke, it's rated R, but they never use the word fuck, even though they clearly want to.
Why did they make that a rated R?
I don't know. Gruesome imagery, I guess. I don't know. But,
If by gruesome imagery you mean that unnecessary sex scene.
yeah, it's gruesome for lots of people. Did you watch the CinemaSins version of that movie? It was worth it for that one part. Do you watch CinemaSins at all?
No.
Well, basically, it's just like guys that, like, point out errors. They have a counter at the top, and then they just kind of make a joke about it. When they get to the sex scene, they just go, and, like, Batgirl powers Batman. Wait, what? Like, wait, what the fuck? And then it cuts to the next shot. It was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about the killing joke. Yeah, like, honestly, like, I was invested in the characters well enough. I liked them. I thought I was into their particular storylines.
Yeah.
And just when it comes to the actual horror aspect, it just kind of failed miserably, because ignoring the weird alcohol thing, which I still find that weird. I don't know what, like, it felt like somebody said something that they couldn't use it for whatever reason, but I don't know. That's kind of a guess. Even then, you could tell they wanted some gruesome shots they couldn't have in there, because they wanted it to be a soft PG-13. Like when the character is stabbed at the end, you don't actually see her get stabbed. You just hear it and you see like a drop of blood on the knife.
Yeah.
Or like
that's true.
Spoiler at the end, when the sister's sewing the other sister's mouth shut.
Right.
They don't actually see it happening. You see her hand come up like this. Like, this movie clearly wanted to be an R, and it had to be cut down or re-edited to PG-13 because they wanted to get a wider audience, or they just didn't want a popular board game associated with an R-rated movie. I don't. I felt like. It felt for a movie that I think wanted to do more. It felt like it was playing remarkably safe. Yeah.
And it's hard to play safe with horror films, I feel like.
Yeah, because like if you play too safe, you can kind of tell that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
And it's really distracting.
Yeah.
Like when and I'm not saying all horror movies have to be blood, guts, and gore. I'm not saying that at all.
No, they don't. But I feel like if that's what you're aiming to do by trying to make it more elementary, you're really selling yourself short.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just feels like, again, it feels like you want to do more, but someone in the studio said no. That's kind of what it feels like to me. And apparently this director's done some good stuff. I'm not familiar with his biography all that much. But, okay, so the basic plot line of the movie, which it has a good setup.
No, yeah, like,
there are some really interesting ideas.
That's why I was interested in, like, I was invested in the beginning, because I was like, oh, this is like an interesting storyline. The time period's different, like, from what I'm used to in horror films. Like, I felt like the acting was, like, I did enjoy the acting. I think, like, a big part of the suspension of disbelief was kind of destroyed when, you know. Yeah, it was so like, what?
Like, no. Okay, open.
Could you imagine if somebody like dubbed something in there?
Oh, I have the perfect thing. The part where okay, so long story short, a single mom has 2 kids, like basically runs a scam artist company as a seance or ghost whisperer kind of thing.
Yeah. And
daughter turns out actually can't talk to ghosts, but it's only one ghost, and he's evil, and he possesses her. And they know this because apparently you can only see ghosts by looking through the glass of the Ouija board or whatever.
Right.
So there's a scene where like her neck starts hurting for whatever. He's like, oh, what is that? And she finally looks at herself in the mirror with the Ouija glass. He's like the big, dark, evil ghost demon thing.
But he didn't even look scary.
No, he didn't.
At all. Like, I usually in scary movies, I don't like to make, like, I don't know why I'm admitting this, but I don't like to make direct eye contact with the scary thing the second it happens. Maybe it's like my coping mechanism for like scary things. But I'll usually look to like the bottom corner first to like let it come onto the screen, and then I'll look up at it. And so I did that, and then when I looked, I was like, "What the fuck is that? Like, why did I even like feel like I would be scared of that? Like, it was so like, oh my god! It looked like it was like a.
You know what it looked like? It looked like one of the cavity creeps.
I actually don't know what that is at all. I don't know what that is.
If you ever look it up, because it's like these. It was a part of a toothpaste commercial way back when, but there was a thing that had like giant drills, and they were like black, kind of made like tarish thing. They used to say, "We make holes in teeth. We make holes." Look it up. That's great.
The real horror is cavities, ladies and gentlemen.
Cavity creeps. But I would have
make sure to brush and floss your teeth.
I would have loved it if when the part where they show him like reach his hand into their mouth, they started playing dentist from Little Shop of Horrors. Just I was like, I am your dentist.
Oh my god.
I'm here to cause you pain. Would have been way scarier than anything in this movie.
The dentist is... Actually, I like my dentist. But, yeah, I just felt like it was really super cheesy, and which, like, bummed me out, because I think with the acting and everything, like, I was actually enjoying, like, the movie outside of the horror element of it, because I like horror movies, but it's so rare that you see one it's like fully well executed.
Well, again, it just feels like this movie is just playing it so safe on every level. Like, even when you have the 15-year-old, like the 15, 16-year-old daughter going out with the 17-year-old, even that they play ridiculously PG-13 safe.
Yeah.
Like, even like, there's a part where they kiss. It's a magical moment. I could think of, can someone tell these two how to actually kiss?
Yeah, it was such a
it looked like so awkward and stilted. Like,
I was like, is that their first kiss? When their first kiss ever? Because that's what I just had like flashbacks of like my first kiss and how like awkward it was and how like you don't really know how to kiss, so you're just kind of like.
That's where you and I stories differ. For my first kiss, I did my fucking research.
So you made out with your hand a lot.
Look at instructions online. The sad part is that is not a joke.
Okay.
Hey, my first girlfriend was very happy. My first kiss led to a 45-minute makeout session. I was very proud. You didn't need to know that, but I'm telling you anyway.
I don't want to hear it.
Just
no, but
saying.
like I feel like, you know,
I knew what I was doing. Anyway, not like these two people. I felt like if a Christian movie made people kiss, I feel like this would have been.
It was, yeah. I sensed that too when that scene happened. Though I was like
stilted and uncomfortable for everyone.
It really did. I was like,
it's like you almost feel like someone in the microphone in the back going, "All right, you can stop now."
But it's like they weren't kissing. It was like they just like put their mouths.
It's like we took a Barbie doll and a Ken doll and went kiss.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's kind of what it was.
Now kiss.
Oh man, it's stuff like that. Like if this was an R-rated, they'd be making out hardcore and maybe fucking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
that's what I expected to happen because she was like making such a big deal of it. Like, oh, if you tell mom, I'm gonna do whatever to your dolls. And so I was like, oh, they're gonna fuck. And then
that's
they go
probably how she
upstairs
learned to
and
kiss,
they listen to
dolls.
music, and then they do a weird little kiss. Not even make out, just like a little kiss. And then she's like, all right, time to go.
It's like, Mom, if that's what you're worried about, your daughter's gonna be fine. All right, it's like, you have nothing to worry about from Mikey. Mikey, like, as soon as he walked in on the fancy suit, I'm like, I'm really suspicious of Mikey. I don't know why. The two buttons, just like, I don't trust this guy. And the slick back hair. There's always that one guy you just don't trust for whatever reason. But yeah, so like, I like some of the characters. I even like some of the ideas with the ghost possession I thought were interesting. Like when the priest has like his exposition dump towards the end of the movie, I thought I thought there's some interesting ideas there. Like a weird, like, ghost scam artist mind reader.
Was the person, so the ghost who had taken over the daughter's body was really like this demon who used to be this guy who was like a malpracticing
Nazi
surgeon doctor thing,
something like that,
who did all kinds of horrible experiments and then fled to that house back in like World War II.
That's what I'm getting.
And I guess did he continue his experiments in that house and then just died there or what? Like
I think they said he continued it in the house. That's what the secret room was about. And I think he said he was murdered at some point, and they go into grisly detail about it. But I don't know if it was the doctor that was one that was the ghost, or was like one of the victims was the.
I think it was the doctor at one point, because I remember in the beginning when they were like, "Oh, what's your name?" And like she like first gets the Ouija board, and she's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And the girl upstairs says Marcus, and like they mentioned that Marcus is the name of like the.
Oh, I thought that was the name of one of the victims, but.
Oh, was it?
Oh, well, it's one or two.
Maybe.
Flip a coin, whatever,
I don't know.
Whatever explanation you like better, really.
But at one point, like at the end, when all the demons are coming out, like you just see like a bunch of them. So I imagine they're all like victims, because even the priest was like, I can help you. I'm sorry this happened to you. So I imagine it was the victims who were still.
With sporadic fucking possession, which like only seemed to occur and disappear whenever it was convenient for the plot, rather than having any kind of consistency. I mean, like, is this a bad movie, I want to say, which is more than I expected from a Ouija movie. So, like, as far as that goes, like, okay, it gets a fair pass, but at the same time, it's also like, this feels toned down. This feels deliberately held back.
It's like I've said before, in regards of like horror movies, is something that I would like if I want to have like a ice cream and horror movie Netflix night. Like, this is totally something I would do. Like, watch something cheesy like this, where it's like, oh, you know, It's not something that I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight after watching. It's more something that you would want to, like, sit with a friend and, like, eat ice cream and...
Like, laugh.
Yeah.
I think, like, honestly... Like, just a little bit of, like, even though some more practical effects in this movie just look kind of goofy, like, whenever she's on a ceiling or on a wall or whatever, like, it always like, okay, discount Spider-Girl.
Yeah.
And, like, calm down. Yeah. I mean, some shots were kind of creepy, like, some close-up shots with her with the contact lenses and...
Yeah, and she whispered into somebody's ears, I'm like,
Yeah, that stuff was creepy, and I'm like, it's well acted. She does a good job with what she's given, and, like, even when she smiles at the camera, like, okay, that was legitimately pretty creepy.
Yeah.
It's just whenever they try to do, like, jump scares. And there's like, granted, there's not many jump scares till the very end.
That's true.
They usually kept it relatively restrained, although there was one pretty funny jump scare earlier on in the movie.
I don't remember what happened, but I actually jumped. I don't remember.
No, it was when the teenage girls are all dumb teenage friends and they're doing the Ouija board out in the
in the mom office.
And like the one girl's getting really freaked out by it.
That was fucking funny though.
That was pretty funny.
I was laughing so hard because the entire time she's like freaking out. Well, you know, they're like doing the fake Ouija board.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then it's like if it's here, give us a sign, and nothing happens. And
then like the mom bursts in the door and she's like, ah! Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
I can totally.
Don't. Please don't.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Please don't. Save it for Medea.
Oh, good God. Good God. That's what our entire review is going to be, just me screaming at the top of my lungs.
And I'll be sitting there going, yeah, that about sums it up. That about sums it up. No, honestly, most reviews like, is it better or worse than Dirty Grandpa? Will probably be.
Man, that's the theme of the year. Is it better or worse than Dirty Grandpa?
The funny thing is that Dirty Grandpa is a movie I have to keep reminding myself that I fucking saw. Like, because after, like, 9 Lives and Norm of the North and God knows what else I was seeing this year, it's actually funny. I was talking to my mother on the phone the other day. I was like, yeah, I go see movie later this week. Which one? Medea? And she goes, ow, why? Why? And I'm like, because I need to, mother. I need to for my internet. And she doesn't understand why I do this. In some cases, I don't either. But that's not true. I kind of mostly do. But yeah, I mean, like, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this movie. It's pretty cut and dry. It's a PG-13 horror movie. You kind of know what you're getting from that. It's better written than I was expecting.
Yeah.
There are parts to like about it. I honestly would have liked this movie better if it played it more like as more of a just supernatural, like a suspense supernatural movie rather than a horror movie.
I agree.
Because I feel like, especially when they're discovering that she can talk to ghosts to begin with, I felt like it was almost going for more like an adventure film kind of vibe, more than a horror vibe.
Like a what kind of film?
Almost like an adventure discovery, like E.T. or something. Because the music was very like Spielberg-y, and like the way everyone was talking to each other, like it's making it sound like you're making this wonderful discovery, and like nothing horrifying is happening. That you don't have the usual like you hear from a horror movie soundtrack. Right. So like it just felt very, very different. I'm kind of like, this probably would work better if it was just a different genre.
I agree.
So yeah. I can't really think of a whole lot else to say. Can you think of anything?
Not right now.
All right, well, sorry guys, that was a pretty short review, but yeah, this is kind of just a meh movie. You know, it came and went meh.
Yeah, it's something I'd watch on Netflix if I was like, let's have a girls' night and eat ice cream and gossip and watch shitty, scary movies.
Honestly, the one I would watch over this, honestly, would probably be the first Annabelle, which is a shitty movie. But it does have one legitimately good scare in there. And it's not even a jump scare. It's a scene where, like, it was either Annabelle or Insidious Chapter 2, one of the two. Insidious Chapter 2 is hilarious, by the way. Go watch that one. That one's hilarious. But it's a part where, like, there's going to an attic, and there's a bunch of creepy noise going around, and then she turns around, and there's just, like, this weird, like, black, like, humanoid demon, and it's a practical effect. It's a guy that can make up in a costume, and he's just, like kneeling there in a pose. He's not moving towards her. There's no, like, obnoxious jump scare. He's just standing there and looking at her, and it holds that shot for a solid couple minutes, and it's really fucking unnerving.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like this movie tried to do that, but then it was immediately followed by a jump scare.
There weren't a lot of jump scares though. I mean, a lot of it was like, yeah. I guess there was like a few in the third act. A lot of it was just horrible practical effect, or not even practical. It was all CGI or like, she was on the walls. Like it was just so corny.
Like honestly, like what I kept thinking about is like, do you watch Mystery Science Theater?
No, but I know of it.
Whenever on the first Gamera movie they have this continuous joke. Whenever they show like a boat in that movie, they would always go toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, because it was so obviously just a fake toy boat.
Yeah,
I felt like that's the same with this movie, like CGI, 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 CGI.
Although, I think it's interesting that most horror films always have the children become obsessed. No, possessed.
Obsessed too.
And something about a child being possessed is unnerving to me. And
well, you can blame The Exorcist for that.
True.
Because that's the one that kind of started that whole genre.
True. But it's like, now I feel like in real life, I mean, children are already demons to begin with.
You said to the person who lives with kids for a living.
I actually like kids more than I like adults. I hate adults. But,
hey. Ow.
But,
let me talk about Pikachu for an hour.
But something about children, and even more so, it's like this idea of, I think, the ethical grounds of, like, this child is possessed and killing people. How do we stop them, right? Like, this idea of, I mean, I could kill this child, but now I have, like, her blood on my hands. Mm-hmm. And you're, like, gonna be known as the person who killed a child.
Yeah, or, like, even if, like, going back to The Witch, the movie I forgot we saw, was that this year or was that last year?
It was this year, I think.
Man, time's gone by.
Yeah.
But, like, even then, like, what if your children just happen to worship whatever demon is present?
What do you do?
Which just kind of does in this movie too, actually, now that I think about it.
But that's like a legitimate question. Like, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would probably be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, in the case of the possession, this movie is like, it kind of boils down to, shake it off, you're fine. You can shake off being possessed. Or at least you can if you're
Here,
priest.
take some ibuprofen, you'll be fine in the morning by that neck pain.
Your mother sucks cock to hell. That's very nice, sweetie. Here, take these. I'll deal with this in the morning. Honestly, rewatch The Exorcist. Those fucking possession scenes have, like, that's what this movie, like, that's a hardcore R possession movie right there.
Yeah.
You ever see The Exorcist all the way to the end?
No.
It's that movie. Like, a lot of it's still kind of dated by today's standard, but you gotta respect some of the shit they pulled back then.
What was the year on that?
Oh, I think it was in the 80s, I want to say.
I think you're right.
But that was like the first of its kind back then.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see why it's been so damn hard to replicate.
Yeah.
By today's standards. Because if it was done today, they would totally fuck it up.
Have they tried to redo that?
I mean, they've done not a direct remake. They've done like sequels and prequels.
Really?
The prequel is a more recent one. Exorcist 3 actually isn't that bad. That was 1973, so older than that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an old movie. Still holds up pretty well though. Exorcist 2 is god awful.
I feel like that happens a lot with sequels of like horror movies. Oftentimes it's the second one that's awful.
Well, because usually a horror movie is meant to be like beginning, middle, end. They're not usually meant to be sequel baited unless they're trying to franchise it, like with Freddy versus Freddy or Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or something like that. But a good horror movie usually just has a beginning, middle, end, and stop. That's what the way it should be. Yeah.
You know what's interesting with this one is that I remember at the very end my like thought process when like she stabs her mom and like she's basically all alone. I'm like, damn, because I don't know why, but this is like always my thought process at the end of like a lot of movies that end in some kind of tragedy or horror or whatever, and it's like, damn, that person's gonna, like the one survivor or whatever is gonna be really fucked up after this.
Yeah.
And then they actually show her in a death award, and I was like, wow, there was definitely that like that it was interesting to see my thought like played out, and then turns out she's still fucking possessed, and being creepy as fuck, and her sister
that's
body went missing. I was like, how did her body go missing?
Oh, just so she could pop up at the end of the movie.
So that was stupid.
Oh, she's still around. Ooh.
That was pretty stupid. I wish they didn't put that in there.
That's another modern day horror cliche that I wish could go die in a fire.
Because I thought it was creepy just ending.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like, have the monster appear at the end, regardless if it makes any sense or not.
I hate that. That was kind of stupid.
Boo. Have there been any good horror movies this year that we've seen? I mean, Blair Witch wasn't bad. I like Blair Witch.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Other than
The Witch.
That one it was okay to me.
I really liked it at the time.
Yeah, but I think if I were to go back and rewatch it...
Yeah. I can see that.
It just seems like it lands, like it's a little underwhelming. It's a little stale. I don't know. I'm very particular with my horror movies too, but
go rewatch The Babadook.
I think, yeah, this year hasn't been great for horror movies. Because I mean, I'm trying to think of more than the ones that we've seen, and I don't even think anything's really caught my eye, really.
That's because they're all saving for January.
The Bye-Bye Man.
The Bye-Bye Man. That's still, like, the dumbest name. You know what I was thinking of when I saw, like, I think last time I made the joke of, like, his archer, like, reading serve. This one I thought of a new one, where I thought of the villain from The Incredibles, like, the one that shows up at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
No, Bon Voyage. You remember that one?
No.
The French Unabomber?
No, I don't.
That's dressed up like a mime.
Kind.
It's like when he's in his prime and he's trying to do with Kid Sinestro, not Sinestro, Syndrome / Incrediboy, and he runs into like the guy with the bombs. His name was Bon Voyage.
Wow.
When it comes to superheroes, I just have my shit memorized, whether I like it or not. I can't help it.
Fair enough.
On that note, that's a great transition to trailers. So we got Incarnate.
Which one was that one again?
It was like, that was the weird one with Aaron Eckhart and how it's like Exorcist meets Inception.
Because he like goes in their heads instead.
Yeah, which is kind of like, okay.
I don't.
Because like, no, a standard exorcism won't do. You gotta go inside their minds, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go in there. You gotta fight it from the end, man.
Which I think that's an interesting concept.
So you get him Frankenstein.
I don't know how this execution's gonna work.
Oh, it looks so dumb.
It does. Yeah.
It looks really dumb.
It sounds like it's an interesting idea, but like it's new to the exorcism kind of cliche of, you know.
Because Aaron Eckhart still looks like he came off the set of I, Frankenstein. That's why.
I didn't bother watching that.
Oh my god, that was a silly movie.
I heard that tanked.
Oh, it did, but it was almost kind of worth it just for the batshit crazy logic they had. Because what do you think of when you think of Frankenstein?
I think of a mad scientist and Frankenstein's monster.
Wrong.
Okay.
Angels and demons.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
No. Angels that turn to gargoyles.
That makes no sense. I just remember like seeing that trailer and being like, tempted to watch it for Yvonne Strahovski because she's hot. Not gonna watch it because it sounds stupid.
But the right kind of stupid.
I was like, what?
Just reminds me, I gotta call Wes. I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah, then we got the trailer of the Bye-Bye Man again, which is like, that looks even dumber. I take that back. Incarnate looks dumber.
Yeah.
Bye-Bye Man just looks like a January horror movie.
Yeah.
Where people make bad decisions. Like, the more you think about it, the stronger it gets. Okay, put on a movie. You're not thinking about him anymore. Hell, you want to make it a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. You'll forget all about the Bye-Bye Man.
It's actually really hard to like forget about something, like if it's something that's serious. So.
Well, it's like if you don't take it seriously, it's pretty easy to forget.
Okay, but if you're like sleeping in your bed and then some like shadow comes at you, I'd be thinking about that shit.
I don't know, but I'm thinking like, if somebody said like, the more you think about it, the more you get, the more, I can't say it, the more you think about it, the stronger it gets, the more it comes after you.
Just get high, you know?
And then they just go like, what's it called? The Bye-Bye Man. That's stupid. Then I would probably forget about it after that. I would just chuckle every once in a while and go like, yeah, that's a dumb name. Click. Freddy vs. Jason, because why not? I think it was like the first horror movie I ever saw that legitimately pissed me off, actually.
Which one?
Freddy vs. Jason.
I didn't see that one.
I saw it when I was a kid when it was on TV. I think it was I think it's when I started to realize that this is going to be something I was going to do when I got older. Because I was like, there was no need for any of that bullshit, and I was like 16 at the time.
I think the first horror movie that legitimately pissed me off, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was, I think it was like The Haunting of...
The House on Haunted Hill?
No, something Molly. Her name was Molly, I think. Or some girl name. The Haunting of something, or fuck, I don't remember. It was like in middle school or high school, and it had that one dude who's in Gossip Girl.
I have yet to see Gossip Girl.
I just know like his face because he's one of the like supposedly attractive dudes on that show, and so like I was like, oh god, this is already gonna be awful because he's in it. And it was just horrible. God, I remember walking out being like, I wasted my money, and I was so mad.
Like, I think what made Freddy vs. Jason particularly poignant for me, and it came out in 2003, I just looked it up, is the fact that I was not supposed to be watching it. So I kind of watched secretly. So not only am I doing this taboo thing of watching a horror movie I'm not supposed to see, but also hating it.
Yeah.
And also fascinated by how much I hate it, so I keep watching it more.
Huh.
I have a weird thing because I have serious disdain for. Because I hated That's My Boy, The Burning Passion, but I kept turning it on just to see how far I could get. But yeah, so that's the Bye Bye Man. Then we got John Wick Chapter 2. I am so excited.
I haven't seen the first one, so...
You need to come over and
Everyone
watch
keeps telling me that it's really good, so...
It was a movie that I almost didn't go see, but Grant talked me into it because he got early access tickets. And I thought, okay, whatever, I'll go see this Keanu Reeves action movie. I walked out going, that was like one of the best action movies I've seen in fucking years.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing footage of him, like, doing a lot of, like the practicing with the guns and, like, him legitimately doing all of it.
Oh, yeah,
and just, like, knocking shit out. And I was like, damn, this is just, like, picking up guns and just shooting each target, like, right on. I'm just like, holy shit.
I think somebody said it best, like, honestly, you could just rename the movie Headshot.
I mean, I haven't even seen the movie, but based off of that, like, footage that I saw from, like, his training, I was like, damn, I mean, yes.
It's like, the first one was so expertly choreographed and stylized that it was the actions were hypnotizing.
Nice.
I know, like, there's one of the very first big actions in the movie just involves, like Keanu Reeves, like, trying to hold a guy, like, a knife to somebody, and he's just staring at the guy with his cold, dead fucking eyes, and he's staring and trying to stab this guy, and eventually just goes, boom, and it's like, boom, and, like, stabs him that way. It's amazing. It also has one of the best villain reactions to a hero I have ever seen in a movie. And I'm not going to spoil it because I want you to see the movie.
Yes,
but,
don't spoil.
But it's hilarious. Anyway, so then we got Resident. I hope John Wick Chapter 2 lives up to the hype because it's one of those things. The first one was really good. It's hard to top that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, the movie I know you're really excited for.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it because Mila Jovovich is.
I'll probably be there with you.
Super.
I will agree on Mila Jovovich.
You know, it's funny because even though they're horrible, that scene in the 4th Resident Evil where they're in that in the showers and that giant, like, thing with that, I think it was like an axe or something, and he had like the potato sack over his head or whatever.
Oh, like the executor or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then, like, all the showers go off and they're just, like, dripping wet, and I'm just like, man, my lady boner was pretty hard. Because you have Mila Jovovich, and then I can't remember the other chick's name, but as a redhead, she is fine. And then
Allie Larder?
Yeah, Allie Larder, there you go.
Yeah, she's the one I always liked.
Yeah, and so when you just see both of them kicking ass while being soaked, it's like a wet t-shirt contest meets, like, zombie killing.
Fan service.
Yeah, absolute fan service. And I felt serviced.
It's like, even like in this movie, Ouija, the part towards the end where the mom gets put up in the chains, and like, as like the demon-possessed girl is like strapping her in, I'm like, demon-possessed person, woman in chains, I know where this is going. I've seen enough weird porn to know where this is going.
Yeah, but that was like her, like, 9-year-old daughter. It would be less weird if it was like her,
if it's a hentai, the demon would just come out and work her after that way. That way it wouldn't be as creepy. Right.
Oh, man.
Don't ask me why I know that.
Did I tell you that story? I think I did, about that guy who, like, tried to compliment me on my... No? Okay.
Regale me with the story.
So, when I was in my undergrad, I went... You know, like, what henna is, right? With, like, the Indian...
the hand tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah, hand tattoos. Yeah. So, I got that done. And I went to, like, the student union to grab some food or whatever. And I went to go, like, fill up my water bottle. And this guy comes up next to me and he's like, "Oh, I really like your hentai." And I was like... I was really, really concerned. And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he was like, Your hentai, that's what that's called, right?" And I was like...
It's like, I'm not sure I want to burst his bubble, but I do.
I was like, "Actually, it's called henna." And he was like, "Henna? Wait, what did I say? Hentai?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's tentacle porn." And he was like, "Oh, fuck." And I had to tell, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, like..." In my head, I was trying to think, this poor guy is probably trying to hit on me, and he just
bombed completely.
He just fell flat on his face, and I was just like, "Okay, well, you have a nice day," and left. But that poor guy is probably traumatized. He's like, "Oh my god, I just told that girl I like her tentacle porn."
It's
like... I was like, "Wait, how did he know? That was a secret." Just kidding. No one was supposed to know about that.
Oh,
that's how I paid for college.
We all did what we had to do in college.
And now everyone who's watching this is gonna Google my name and like...
Oh, they'll find the fanfic, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Is that even still happened?
Yes, there's
really?
There's 98 stories now.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I know, they keep pumping them out, and I have found them immensely enjoyable. They've also gone through some phases. There was a time when I was in a high school style college with the cast of My Little Pony.
Okay.
Which was an interesting time because I don't watch
Friendship
My Little...
is important. Okay?
Apparently it is, because I've never watched a single episode, so I didn't know who the fuck anyone was talking.
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
who the hell is Glitter Sparkle? What? That's...
a pony, obviously.
That's a stripper name? I don't know.
Yes. There you go.
And for the person watching this, I know they are. I do find them enjoyable. I just want to point that out. Me and Ron were laughing about them the other day, actually, because one of my favorite stories involves me and him and how we go see a movie, and apparently I decided I don't have enough popcorn. I'm just gonna take one anyway.
Wait, you don't have what?
I don't have money to buy popcorn, but I'm just gonna take one anyway. Okay. And apparently it involves security chasing me back and forth and me going, "Ron, help me!" And apparently Ron just looks at us, turns around, and just walks into the movie theater. And the story just ends with, "And then Ron saw the movie. It was great." The end.
Oh, that's wonderful. I need to go back and... I mean, I haven't been in any reviews, so I doubt I'm in any of them. But
you're in plenty.
Really? Whenever I'm in them, I'm just like, I feel like I've made it in life.
There's actually one more recent that I'm going to tell you about off camera.
Okay.
Because you'll know why. But
no, I'm kind of really intrigued. Anyways, next trailer.
Yeah, and then we got what were we talking? When they got a cure for wellness.
I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, that's the one from the kid from Chronicles, and I guess played Green Goblin. Was in a mental institution.
Idea. I was so confused.
Yeah, that one was kind of weird.
It was very vague. Like, I mean, there was something going on with people underwater, and...
It definitely felt like it was trying to be an artistic movie.
I was really confused. So I feel like other than... I mean, it also didn't capture me enough to, like, give a shit.
No.
Like, I feel like I wouldn't care to see that.
Most of it's kind of like, what am I watching? Kind of thing. Kind of like another trailer I'll talk about in a couple minutes. But, then we got the trailer for Annabelle 2, which I don't know why anyone would get anyone
every time
doll.
I see that trailer, I just want her to take off a mask and say, "I am no man." It's like, it's like, how can she be afraid of a little doll when she took on the king of the Nazguls,
I keep forgetting that was her.
Yeah. She took on the ring wraiths, but she can't take a little doll.
Apparently not.
Apparently.
because apparently its doll won't fucking go away. It's gotten 2 movies now, and I don't know why.
Dolls are also really creepy.
But it's like, who would ever get their child this doll?
Somebody
ever.
really fucking twisted.
Like even like in the first movie, they go, "Oh, I've always wanted this." I'm like, why?
Well, yeah.
It looks like it's gonna stab you in your sleep.
I know.
Which it more or less does, and not in a fun Chucky way.
Jeez, no. Don't ever buy me a doll. I will.
I wasn't planning on it, but now for your birthday, I might just. It's like
if you do that, I will find a way to get into your apartment and hide it somewhere where you least expect it, and then it'll scare the shit out of you.
It's like, do you ever? There was one comedy sketch talking about how when he was a kid he watched Poltergeist for the first time, and for those who don't know, that clown was not a prop made for the movie. That was a real toy that existed during that time. And I know that because I had an actual, replica of that same clown in my bedroom at the time this happened. And of course, I'd watch this, because I was supposed to be watching Poltergeist, I then took the clown outside and beat it savagely.
Wow. And
threw it in the garbage can. And then, unbeknownst to me, my mother came out later and said, "Oh, my son accidentally threw his favorite clown toy outside in the garbage. I better put it back."
Oh, man.
And that is why I will never trust clowns again.
Yeah. That's pretty scary. Just burn it.
Burn it all.
Burn it with fire.
Burn it all! And then we got the weirdest horror trailer I've seen in a long fucking time. Get Out.
Was that
That was the racist one.
Oh, okay.
No, that...
Yeah, I don't...
Did that confuse you as much as it confused me?
Yeah, I don't understand what was... So, it sounds to me like there's, it seemed to start off with, okay, let's go meet my parents. And so they go to this town where their parents are. And I guess it's a bunch of crazy white people killing black people.
Or, hypnotizing them, or mind controlling them.
I have no idea. I was so confused.
Apparently, segregation is the bad guy? I don't really know. I don't know. That one genuinely baffled me the first time. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
What is happening? Are black people the bad guy? Are they, demon possessed? Or are the white people the bad guys? Are they hypnotizing them?
I think they were, because they were saying, oh, yeah, all the brothers are disappearing. Aren't you scared? And then the guy was like, "No, man, don't worry about it." And then shit started happening.
I love your impression of black people. You almost said
I'm not trying to be offensive, so I apologize. But I was quoting it. That's what he said.
It's not exaggration, but
that's what he said. He was like, "Hey, man, there's the shooting."
It just almost sounds like Eddie Murphy and Shrek. It just kind of, your gods are like, "Oh, that new game, and bam!" No, it's like Babe in the Woods.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles. There you go, I said it.
There you go. Get yourself a fucking cookie. That was my Samuel L. Jackson. It's just as bad. Anyway, then we got the Shyamalan film split.
Oh, God.
I can't wait.
Oh, God.
I'm so excited. Apparently, this might actually be a legitimately good Shyamalan movie, though. Because it's already at 78 on Rotten Tomato.
Is it already out?
It premiered at a film festival a few months back. I don't know. Either way, I think I told Grant the same thing in the last review. It was like, if it's good, great. If it's bad, better.
True.
Because a bad Shyamalan film is a fucking treat.
Oh, man. It's interesting because they have, what's the dude's name? The British dude.
Xavier.
I know, like Professor X.
Crap, it's gonna bug me now.
But they have him.
James McAvoy.
Yes. And then they also have the girl who was in The Witch.
Is that the same girl?
Mm-hmm, I believe so. I believe that was the same person. Because I was like, shit, she looks familiar. What is she from? And then I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's the chick from The Witch, except she's not blonde. She has, the dark hair. Yeah,
I can already tell, though, as someone who's at least partially studied mental illness, I can already go, parts of this trailer going, no.
They got it so wrong.
No.
Yeah, I was
not even close to how, a person with multiple personalities.
It, frustrates me, though, because as someone who's been a part of, being a peer mentor and working with counseling services and psychology-ish stuff, so many things that we work for is to fight stigma, and it's movies like this.
I'm not even sure I'd call this fucking stigma, because some of the claims are just fucking ludicrous.
No, it is, but people think that multiple personality disorder is that people are legitimately doing things like that or being harmful in that sense.
I mean, they can be. There's some that actually can. My part that made me laugh is like people with multiple personality can change their body chemistry with their thoughts. I'm like,
no.
It's not a fucking superpower.
No,
right?
No, it's not.
It's not quite how it works. No.
But for the most part, multiple personality disorder isn't that extreme. Like, in the sense of, like... There
can be. There have been extreme cases in the past, where people, like, some people have gone years into their alternate personality and just snap back. So one case of a woman, actually, who had MPD, got married during in her alternate personality, and then snapped back out of it years into the marriage. So, like, there are severe cases of it, but
I don't mean, like, kidnapping somebody, holding them hostage, and that's what I mean by...
That's fair. That's
what I mean by, like, that. Like,
and then be a 9-year-old boy the next scene.
Yes. So,
and James McAvoy looking like the toughest man in drag I've ever seen. Like, oh, Eddie Murphy,
step aside. I don't think it's actually called multiple personality disorder anymore.
No, it's called just dissociative personality disorder now.
Yes.
It used to be called multiple personality disorder, but they've changed it in recent versions of the DSM.
Mm-hmm.
But I already went my long DSM tirade when I talked about the accountant in a positive way. Well, you know what the accountant is, right? Though?
No, I didn't.
It's basically where if Jason Bourne had autism, that would be the accountant. It's actually not a bad movie.
Interesting.
It's actually pretty tasteful, all things considered. And yeah, that was the last trailer we got. So you got any lost thoughts for Ouija?
Don't burn Ouija boards.
Is that a thing you don't do?
You don't burn Ouija boards.
Why not?
Because it pisses off spirits, dude. So I don't. I would never touch a Ouija board. Well, actually, I have touched one, but.
Why take the risk, right?
But. Don't fuck around with them, and specifically don't burn them. I remember watching a documentary, and it was like talking about this, I think it was like some couple people who lived in a house in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they like got a Ouija board and started having like a lot of weird shit happening in their house and like, creepy demon shit. And so they like freaked out and they went, burned it in the backyard, and all that did was piss off the spirit. And I think it did something along the lines of like really keeping it there. And I was just like, never burn a fucking Ouija board. And when I saw him do it in the movie, I was like, you're idiots! You never
blew
burn
it up! Damn you all to hell!
Game over.
No, I think honestly my favorite like joke line in a movie making fun of that kind of cliche is Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods is a fantastic
I love
movie.
Cabin in the Woods. I think it's a great movie, but I think the one part that always makes me laugh just thinking about it is when they go, oh, the book's written in line. Okay, I'm drawing a line in the fucking sand. Do not read the Latin.
And it's so true, because in every horror movie, you always see the idiot who, like, finds the book and then tries to fucking read it, and I'm like...
And I love that the smart person in that movie is the stoner. I think that's such a great twist.
Love it. Yeah. Yes.
I want to rewatch that movie, fuck.
Oh, so good.
I love that movie so much.
Definitely one of my faves. And anytime you can get a cameo with Sigourney Weaver, I'm already like, yes.
True. Even if some of them are kind of weird, like in Finding Dory.
That was kind of funny, though.
It really kind of was.
Just like, really? Okay, yeah.
Honestly, that's when the movie got better.
Yeah, I was like, I'm behind this.
As soon as the movie says, I'm Sigourney Weaver, the movie got incrementally better. Which is like, what a weird...
Did you know Sigourney Weaver is going to be in The Defenders?
Yes, I heard about it. She got cast as the villain.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see who she's going to be. I would love it if it was Madame Hydra. That'd be great. Or like Madame Viper, I think.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting to see. So, yeah, Ouija, there are better horror movies out there.
Maybe not right now.
No.
I mean, if you're in the Halloween mood and you want to go see a horror movie, go see it.
If you absolutely have to see something horror related, see it in a matinee. Don't pay full price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I really gotta say about it. It's a meh movie. I'm gonna forget about it in a week or so.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna forget our next horror movie, which thank you in advance.
Yeah.
Because it was actually kind of funny. I texted you earlier today, and I was like, "Hey, are you free tonight?"
You were like, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm free tonight," and you're like, "Okay, I have 3 questions. 1, Are you
down to see something?
Are you down to see something? Are you flexible
with what it is?
With what it is. And 3, are you open to bribery? And my immediate response was, I'm not seeing Medea, you monster.
And I'm like, damn it.
I knew exactly what you were
knew
gonna
where
ask.
I was going with this. It's
but then I caved.
I know, because then I'm like, I'll buy you dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like when I tried to get someone to go see 50 Shades of Grey when that came out. I got like,
God.
I think both Grant and Wes told me to fuck off. Sarah, God bless her heart, said she would go. Honestly, that movie didn't even make my top 10 worst of that year. That's how that's how bad that year was.
Wow.
I think it was the same year The Loft came out. I think that took its place.
I didn't know.
Don't. Anyway, so I think it's all we got. So, see you guys in a couple days.
later.
Bye.